In this module, we will study the circulatory fluid which is called the blood. Blood is actually composed of the plasma, which is the fluid part of the blood, and it is composed of cells like red blood cells and white blood cells, and it is composed of cell fragments which are known as platelets. We will study these components one by one. First of all is the blood plasma. It actually constitutes 55% of the volume of the blood, and about the composition of the blood plasma, it carries metabolites like glucose and amino acids, and it has got waste like nitrogen and carbon dioxide, and it also carries hormones, and it also has ions within it, for example sodium and chloride ions, and it can be compared to the sea water, and it is actually the diluted mixture of ions or salts. And it also carries protein, for example fibrinogen, which has a role in blood clotting. And first of all, the first cell type is erythrocytes, or it can also be called as red blood cells. They actually have a role for the transport of the oxygen. And each cubic millimeter of blood in males contain 4 to 4.5 million RBCs, while each cubic millimeter of blood in females contain 5 to 5.5 million RBCs. And here we can see the development of erythrocytes as well as lymphocytes. We can see here that they are developed from the stem cells, and in case of erythrocytes, the origin is from the myeloid stem cells, while in case of lymphocyte, the origin is from lymphoid stem cells. And second type of cells present in blood are leukocytes, and they have a role in the immunology, and less than 1% of human blood are leukocytes, and they are very efficient in case of defense. And here we can see various types of lymphocytes. Number one is monocyte, and monocyte give rise to macrophage, which actually destroys larger particles by phagocytosis. And a second type is eosinophils, and they actually provide defense against parasite. And third type of leukocyte is that of basophil, and they actually releases heparin to prevent blood clots, and histamine, which causes inflammation actually. And then we have lymphocytes, which can be B lymphocyte or T lymphocytes. They have a role in antibody production as well as cellular immune response. And lastly, we have neutrophils, and they actually destroy small particles by phagocytosis. And as far as the third type is concerned, they are called as platelets. They are actually the cell fragments, and we can see here the production of platelets. Here we can see the cell types which are called as megakaryocytes here, and these are actually large cells which are present in bone marrow, and the pieces of cytoplasm are pinched off from the megakaryocytes and they become platelets. And the platelets play important role in the blood clotting. We can see here that when a blood vessel is broken, smooth muscle in the vessel cells contract and they cause the vessel to constrict, and platelets actually then accumulate at the injured site and they form a plug, and this plug is then joined by the threads of the protein which is called as fibrin, which actually forms a tighter mass actually, and this actually the tightening cause the blood clotting. Now we will discuss the few functions of blood. They actually maintain osmotic balance with the help of proteins within it, and they have a role in transportation of nutrients, gases and wastes, and they provide defense against various diseases with the help of white blood cells, and they also provide immunity to the cells, and they provide protection from toxins of invading organisms. And blood acts as a buffer by maintaining the acid-base balance, and they also maintain body temperature with the help of the processes like vasoconstriction or vasodilation, and they also maintain the amount of chemicals like water and salts. So that is all about the circulatory fluid, which is the blood actually.